Hi guys, welcome back to the Runnies. I'm Mara.
And I'm Tony.
And this is our 2024 running recap video.
In this video, we're going to take you through our 2024 races, training, and some of the lessons that we learned throughout the year.
This is my timeline of the year. It all started when I received a pair of running shoes for my birthday in December in 2023. And then I started running in January without a race in mind, without any proper training. I didn't know where to start. And I bought Hal Higdon's book called Marathon, the Ultimate Training Guide. And I signed up for a 5K in April. So February and March was basically just training for my first 5K, which I completed in April on a 33:19 PR. And then after that, May and June were basically just training for my first 10K, the Narragansett Summer Run, which I did a 1 hour, 24-minute race. And it was basically just to finish the race. I didn't have a PR in mind. I just wanted to have fun with the race. It was a huge distance for me. It felt like a marathon. And it was just a 10K, but it was huge. And in August, I decided that I wanted to better my time of the 5K that I did in April. And I signed up for one called Silent No More for ovarian cancer awareness. And I wanted to do a PR, but I didn't get it. I ended up in 33 minutes and 38 seconds in September. And then in October, I decided to start training for my first half marathon in February of 2025. And that included a last 5K of the year in December, which allowed me to get my 5K PR 31 minutes and 36 seconds. Basically, I have been training for the half marathon since October, and I'm right now in the middle of the training. It was a great year.
I started running basically to be with Mara, support her on her hobby, and end up falling into it with her. January was mostly running the gym most of the time. In February, we both signed off for the Newport 5K in April. So I started doing Hal Higdon's 5K Novice 1 training plan. March, I found that the training for the 5K was easier than I thought. So I wanted a bigger challenge and I signed off for a half marathon in May, and I switched my plan from Novice 1, the 5K, to the Novice 1 for the half marathon. It was about 12 weeks long. In April, I ran the first race. That was the 5K. It was great. I felt strong at the end and finished at 25 with 10 seconds. I continued training right away to run the half marathon in May. It was my first half and I was mostly worried about pacing myself since I was going to run a distance that I had never run before. But thankfully it ended well in a time of 1 hour and 59 minutes. So happy to be under 2 hours. June was more of the training without any particular goal. In July, we took some vacation, and as we came back, I decided to sign off for a marathon in October. Started Hal's Novice 1 plan, and I also signed off for a half marathon as part of the training for the marathon in August. In August, I ran my second half marathon in 2 hours and 14 minutes. It was hotter and the course was more hilly. So I was at the end proud of having run in that time. I continued my training in September, which was mostly building towards the marathon and had the highest mileage of the whole year. Finally, in October, I ran my first marathon in Newport. The first half was great. The crowd was invigorating. The scenery was beautiful. And the second half was horrible. It was lonelier. It was just too difficult. But I was happy to end in 4 hours and 24 minutes. With that, I took 2 weeks of no running, and in November, I started again. I signed off for the Austin Marathon to be run in February 2025, and I started with the Hal Higdon's Novice 2 plan. December was mostly facing the cold in the Northeast and training for the marathon. In the meantime, I also ran a fun 5K where I improved my time to 23 minutes, and that was my PB for the year.
We faced many challenges and learned a bunch of lessons this year, but if I had to summarize each with just one, I would say that my biggest lesson learned is that I had to learn how to do the most basic things all over again. I had to learn how to run, how to drink water, and how to breathe during this journey. And my biggest challenge of this year was that as an amateur, I started running without any clue of the lingo or the gear that I needed. I didn't know what I had to look for in a pair of running shoes, what fartlek meant. I didn't know about miles and energy economy while you ran, and I was pretty much blind at the beginning of the year, but now at the end, I feel that I have learned a bunch and it has been great. I really hope to do this for the long run, literally.
My biggest challenge was the difficulty of the long runs. I found very difficult to deal with the long runs and how boring they can be, especially when you have to run for hours and hours and you are doing it just in your local park without any crowd cheering you up. I think the biggest lesson on the other side is how much better it is to run race day. Race day is about enjoying it. It is so much better when the crowd is there and when you can see people running next to you and you can see people cheering for you. I think that was the biggest lesson and the thing that make me fall in love with this.
We would like to close this video and this year by giving a special thanks to our family members for showing their support and assisting us throughout our races and our training. And also to Hal Higdon for creating his amazing book, Marathon: The Ultimate Training Guide, and his training plans that we have used throughout this entire year.
Stay tuned for our next video about our expectations and plans for 2025.
See you in the next one.